Today's video is going to be all about content. It was about 3 years ago, I was super close to going completely broke. I didn't really know what to do. I was scared. It was a super stressful time in my life. I was pretty much at rock bottom. But I had some people tell me that I needed to start creating content for my brand. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to put myself out there on TikTok or Instagram or be in front of the camera. And so I just didn't listen to the advice for the longest time. My social media channels weren't really doing anything besides just existing to make the brand look more official. During that time, eventually I worked up the courage to start creating content. Long story short, it's what saved me in that time. It got me out of rock bottom, and it's ultimately what grew my brand to where it is today, on track to do well over $1 million this year. And so I truly believe that content is one of the most important things you can do for any business, and specifically e-commerce businesses. You can have a great product, you can have a great website, but ultimately it's all for nothing if no one sees it. And most people who are starting out and just started a brand, they don't have money to spend on paid ads or influencers or whatever it might be. And so content is a way that you can get eyeballs on your product and your brand for basically free. And that's why I think it's so important. And so in this video, I want to provide 5 simple and tactical tips to get started creating content for your brand. So number 1, this might sound stupid, but ultimately you just need to start. You need to just start creating content. It doesn't matter what it is, just start putting stuff out there, start trying different things and seeing what works. You need to get over the fears of being judged or the fears of people making fun of you. And ultimately, if there's people in your life that are judging you or making fun of you, they're probably not worth being in your life anyways. You learn the game as you go. You need to start posting and trying things and see what goes viral, see what works, see what doesn't work. So number 1 is you just need to start. And oftentimes that is the biggest hurdle people have and the hardest one to get over. But I was the same way. I resisted it for so long. And once I took the step, it took me to another level. So just start. So tip number 2 is to copy what works. Another big problem people have is they say, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to create. And so just copy what other people are doing. And no, I don't mean take their actual content or copy exactly what they're doing, but look at how they're structuring things, look at the style videos they're creating and copy that. Copying a style or a concept is not a bad thing in my mind. You're taking what works and being smart and trying to reproduce it with your own twist on it. So things you can do is look at competitors or look at brands that are kind of similar to what you're doing. See the videos they're making, see what's working for them, and put your own twist on it. Another thing I like to do is scroll consciously. And so what I mean by that is we all scroll, we're all on one of these platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. But when you're scrolling and you notice that something really catches your attention, or say it's like a 40-second video and you watch the whole thing through, go back and re-watch it and see like what kept you captivated, see what the hook was that got you to want to know what happened at the end, and just try to understand how they're structuring these videos and apply that to your own content. And so again, tip number 2 is to copy what works. It's not a bad thing to do what other people are doing that's working for them. An example of where I copied something that worked, I was Googling one day, top 10 TikTok hooks, trying to just generate any idea. And I found this blog post and it had a bunch of example videos. And there was this one it was so simple. It was just this girl doing some hair product, and on screen it said stop in all capital letters doing this. And it was her doing something, I don't know, something with her hair that wasn't correct. And then the next frame was do this instead with a green check emoji, and it was her using the product. I applied that concept to my own brand, my own product, and it did 1.3 million views. And I've used that concept several times since then, and it pretty much goes viral every single time. And so like I said, I didn't take that girl's content, but I looked at what worked for her and then applied it to my brand, and lo and behold, it worked, and it was a viral success. Tip number 3 is to test everything, and this is probably the most important one. I've tried to help people with content in the past, other brand owners, and I always tell them this. I was like, you need to just try things. Your first video is not going to be a viral success. It's going to take time to figure this out, see what works, and you have to test different concepts and figure out what your audience resonates with or what fits well with your product or your brand. I see it happen so often where people will post for a month straight and be like, why is it not working? Why am I not getting any traction? And then you go and look and it's the same type of video. And you know what they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's literally what this is. Like, if you're creating the same exact video over and over and over again and it's not going viral, then you probably need to switch up the concept. And so test all sorts of different things. I went through the same thing in the beginning. I was creating all different types of random videos, and then eventually I landed on this ASMR style video that worked. And so I tried it once. I did like an ASMR golf club cleaning video and it went super viral. It was one of my most viewed videos ever with like 2 million views. I was like, wow, so my audience likes this ASMR style video. And so then I had a concept that worked. I tried it again with a different club. I did ASMR club cleaning with a different club and a different, different angle or whatever, and it worked again. And so you just need to test and see what works. And if it's not working, stop doing it. If you have a clothing brand and you're doing outfit of the week and it's getting 100 views every time, then you should probably stop doing outfit of the week videos. And so just try new stuff. And like I said, look at what others are doing and try that. And so keep testing until you find different concepts and pockets of content that fit well and work with your brand and resonate with your audience. Tip number 4 is very similar to tip number 3, and it's to double down. And so in the same way that if something isn't working, cut it and try something new. If something is working, double down on that. Double down on the concept, the idea. Create 50 variations of it, because odds are it will go viral again. Like I said before, the ASMR style video, it worked once. I did it probably 25 more times since then, and I think there's probably a 60% chance it goes viral when I do that type of video. And so once you find something that works, squeeze all the juice out of that thing and try to get as much content as you can out of that idea. Eventually it's gonna fade away and not work anymore, but while it is working, you might as well keep doing it. And so once you have proven winners, you want to repeat those so that it's almost like you have a guaranteed video that's gonna do well and get you a lot of views and traction. My 5th and final tip for getting started creating content for your brand is to be brutally honest with yourself. And this is probably one of the hardest things to do. As human beings, we're biased to ourselves and the things we create. So when you create a video, you might be like, oh wow, this is amazing. I put a lot of effort into it and like this is for sure gonna go viral. But you have to get yourself out of that mindset and almost put yourself in a third person point of view. Imagine you're someone who's never heard of your brand or your product before and you're watching the video for the first time. Does it make sense? You have to remember that if you're watching your own video, you have all the context about your brand already. You already know what the product is. You already know what the video is going to be about. If someone's watching this that's never seen your product before, never heard of you before, are they going to understand what's going on? Is it going to be engaging? Is it going to hook them? And so it takes practice. You have to learn how to get that perspective, but ultimately it comes down to just being honest with yourself and trying to get to that place where you're watching your content almost from a third person point of view. And so those are the 5 tips I have for starting to create content for your e-commerce brand. You'll start to see some pieces go viral and it'll result in sales and traffic to your website, and it'll all be worth it. And we'll get into this more in later videos, but eventually you can turn these viral pieces of content into ads, and then it's like adding more fuel to the fire. It's how you take your business and your brand to the next level. Leave a comment if you have questions about making content. I'm going to create another video here soon where we go more in depth and kind of walk through my thought process of writing a script for a video, or how I structure my videos and the things I'm thinking about to ultimately try to achieve virality. That's the end of this one. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helped.